Welcome to Newport Living and Lifestyles. I'm Kristen, and today we have our January photo contest gift giveaway. And Bar and Board Bistro in Newport, right on Thames Street, or America's Cup, has graciously offered a $100 gift certificate and a bottle of Bubbly from Carolyn's Saconnet Vineyard. And joining me today is Alexander Sandy Nesbitt of Nesbitt Photography, and he's going to help me choose out of 40 photos that people have hashtagged themselves and people have tagged Newport Living and Lifestyles, and we're going to pick the #1 photo from January. So this is going to be like the top 15, right?
Yeah, we got a little shortened pile here, otherwise we're just going to go on forever. But but people have some amazing shots, so this is going to be fun.
It is. It was really hard for us to decide. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You have a history of artistry in your family.
Yeah, you know, my mom's a printmaker, a woodblock artist, and she's had a little print shop over on the Point section for 50-some years. So it kind of runs in the family. And then I went to school for sculpture, ended up doing photography. And I've been doing that, for like 25 years now.
Okay.
So it's been a while, yeah.
So he's a real true professional, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. We're talking film, we're talking manuals, stuff like that. Yeah.
What kind of things are you making now outside of your photography business?
Yeah, you know, it's funny, the sculpture has sort of crept back in a way. So I'm still shooting, and I love to take a photo that's, you know, a beautiful image and might show up like on screen or something like that. I like to make that really a physical object and to really build it out either in an unusual way with an unusual finish, or just make it a custom size for people, because people's living rooms and things like that are all different sizes. So I'm doing a lot of photography as an object.
Well, they can visit nesbittphoto.com?
Yep, nesbittphoto.com's really got like a lot of the shoots I've done in the past, like yachts and world travel stuff and adventures. And Blink Gallery, that's just blink.gallery.
Oh, that's where you would see the sculptures.
Yeah, that's got like printed things and the different kind of objects that I've made and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, we'll have to go on and check that out.
Go check it out.
Yeah. So when you sell your products to people, who is buying these really cool objects?
You know, it's really sort of regular people who need some artwork in their house.
Okay.
I think it's important to remember.
Corporations too, yeah?
A little bit to corporations, but the thing that I'm doing is really, you know, it's nice in a home. You know, your home's sort of not really done until it has artwork in it.
Right.
It's not got that sort of extra level of comfort until you've really gone for the artwork, and so
I can attest.
Yeah, right. You know, and it's tricky sometimes. It's hard to make the decision. So yeah, we really find people from, you know, a couple hours drive radius around just collecting stuff. And,
well,
so
I
really
love
pretty
his artwork so much that I really wanted it in my website. So if you go to my website, newportlivingandlifestyles.com, you will see Sandy Nesbitt's photos as kind of my background theme.
That's right.
And there's also a link that you can click on it to go to your website as well.
Sure.
So
Yeah. They create a whole sort of
brilliant.
little sort of panorama of Newport in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Yeah.
So have you been to Bar and Board Bistro before?
You know, I haven't been to the restaurant yet. It's really pretty new. And I was here maybe when I was like a teenager, working across the street at Old Port, and coming in here when it was a bank.
Oh my gosh!
You know,
the bank vault,
savings book and stuff like that. You know, I had like my first ATM card from this place.
Oh
so
my
I just
gosh.
love the vault. It brings back all these memories, and I think they've just done an amazing job making this restaurant feel like the building that it actually is. They've got great taste, and it's really pretty well done.
Yeah, and a lot of their food is claimed to be sort of farm to table, local, and with a Mediterranean twist.
Yeah, and I think that's neat. Rather, you know, it's everybody likes warmer climates, but there's not that much Mediterranean. A lot of things kind of go a little Caribbean or a little Mexican or something. Yeah. And so this is really, really fun. I don't know. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
and the local thing, you know, the locally sourced, I see those Cisco trucks sneaking around, so I'm really glad that they're sticking to their guns on that.
Yeah, and I have been here. The bartenders are fabulous. They have really specialty drinks. They're what do you call them? Drinkologists, I guess.
Good mixologists.
Mixologists. Thank you. So there's
that
2
I'm
levels.
dying to come to.
Yeah.
Right. This whole thing is duplicated upstairs with a very different flavor, but really urban and new and cleverly done.
Water views. Great lighting in here. It feels kind of, they have a mixture of different eras in here. So it's kind of got that 40s, they have some 50s for furniture mixed in here, some 60s, 70s splashes. So it's a lot of fun. You guys should come on down, check it out. The theme is really, really unique, and it's been really popular. So we're
I
happy.
think they're going to do well. And that patio's amazing.
Oh yeah, the indoor-outdoor patio. So come check it out. And I guess we'll get right down to judging some photos, and you'll help us
Figure out
understand some of
yeah.
the choices that we've made.
So, yeah, so the thing, you know, so, okay, maybe I'm gonna be really picky, but I also like a photo that's got spirit, and I like to see the photographer in there in a way, like, you know, that there's something that they sort of did either different, or they've got an identity that they're sort of asserting or something like that.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways to go with this stuff, but, I don't, you know, should we just dive through?
Let's just dive in.
Dive through
Let's
the pile?
go. Yeah, we'll just say
So,
who the photographer is and a little bit about what they've said and why we
you might
like the
have to
picture.
help me out because it's
Okay.
all Instagram tags. But this
Yeah.
this is pretty cool. So
This is from 28-2. I think his name's Brian.
so he's got a lot of great scenic stuff, and but you know, it's one thing if something beautiful happens in front of you and you sort of whip the camera out. It's much harder when it's not that nice out.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find something that's still got something exuberant or something like a moment of the day. And
And
this
when
is
you're out
kind
at 4:30 in the morning waiting for the sun
waiting
to
for
rise.
something to happen. So he's got something going on here. It's really, the texture and the waves is really something,
here,
but
show
it's a pretty,
what we're talking
it's
about
kind
here.
of a gnarly day, and I'm not sure
It's really pretty.
that
Yeah.
it might not have originally occurred to someone to make a beautiful photo that day, but
Yeah, he did.
the sun flare, something's going on there.
Patience in life. This moment might be one.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. Okay.
That's well done.
Yeah. And he also does a lot of drone work, I've noticed too. Really
He's got
beautiful
some cool
stuff.
drone stuff. Yeah.
So this
And,
one is the Preserve Newport.
Now, this one sort of fooled me because they got this beautiful out of focus sort of thing going on in the lower half of the image, which, you know, I have to say is really well seen, although that is in fact like a graphic in their window. So they're not totally responsible for making that, but
It's
still
really cool.
pretty-
When you see it, it's
you know,
striking,
they had-
and I was like, oh, what's that? So
Yeah,
it's
they
really
had their
cool.
eyes open to kind of pick that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They had an artistic eye for that. But that's a really great place, the Preserve down in Middletown, and you can go get red hot saunas, different lights.
This is in Norrie's. So
Oh yeah, chef.
chef at
Okay,
work.
go ahead.
That's an amazing photo. You know, it feels really natural. It
Yeah.
feels super authentic. This kind of stuff's not that easy. Usually the lighting might suck in something like that. There's a sense of almost like timelessness, you know, the craftsperson. It's a great composition, you know, there's something going on in every corner.
Yeah.
So this is really quite a photograph, and I really appreciate it, sort of going back to photojournalism and stuff like that,
Okay.
of just like telling it like it really is, you know.
They're
kinda
actually
capturing
making
it.
pasta.
He's making his pasta.
Yum.
It's just a great thing. So
Perfect.
I was
Thanks,
impressed by that
Norris.
one.
Oh, should we save this one?
This is super fun. This is like
Yeah.
a New Year's kind of thing, right?
Okay.
So talk about exuberant, right?
Oh yeah, this is like a party in a picture right,
Right?
here. We love this one, and I commented on it when I first saw it because I actually wanted to buy those shoes.
So I think this is pretty fun.
This
Really,
is from
it's-
Bowen's Wharf.
It's just kind of the color and the sort of glamour of it, but
Sequins
you know,
and pearls, New
sequins and
Year's.
pearls,
and it's red
and,
and festive.
But you know, I think in some ways, you know, if something happens right in front of you, right, it's easier. Like, oh, I should just go take a picture. To realize that this is sort of iconic for an exuberant photo, or that
Well
you know,
placed, they put it together.
it tells a story of a celebration or something like that without being the celebration. It's pretty neat. So I had some fun with that.
Yeah.
This one might be tough for people, right? So
yeah.
this is the top of the Perry Mill building seen through a bunch of Christmas lights. And you know, the reason I picked this is not because it's like super pretty. It's because this person stopped while walking around and saw a little thing, something between something else, and they obviously had to like move around and kind of construct this photo. They didn't just like run into it.
Right.
And so I feel like there's a kind of like a lot of authorship for this photographer in this thing. This is actually 28.8.
Yeah, this is Brian again.
28.2
Yeah, he's got some really cool
So that was
stuff.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of in the same idea, you know. So this is the what do you call it thing that
The lobster Christmas
the lobster
tree.
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shots of that,
Yeah.
right?
But
the way the
cute.
dog's in this one, she's taking kind of ownership of it. She's made a fun thing, and
It's actually really clear compared to some of the others, and
Yeah. good photo handling, camera handling
like-
skills, you know.
I was gonna say it's like centered nicely.
Yeah, you know, there's a bunch of things you're responsible for when you take a
Okay.
photo, right? You got to get the composition right. You got to get photography stops time, so if you don't use that, you're kind of wasting that. So you know, freeze a moment, and then you know, it's got this from the photojournalism, the reportage. It sort of talks about like you know, I actually saw this in the world, right? This really happened. And so, you know, it can be your dog, but and dogs are really cute, and they bring a whole sort of other thing into a photo. So she's got the dog being quirky and quizzical, and it's another level of dog.
It's almost
And
the
so-
centerpiece, but not the centerpiece.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah.
Okay.
This is this is the beautiful thing. You know, this happens in front of you. You better get your camera out.
Okay. Yeah. And it's almost impossible to catch the perfect sunrise behind a camera. It just
Yeah.
never gives that
Yeah, you know,
same. But that
There's
was
a
really
couple
bright.
things going on. So one thing is they didn't try to shoot, you know, the ball of the sun. That just screws up every photo.
Oh,
So they got the moment where the clouds were lit up and the sun's not itself is not actually visible. So that's super working in their favor. They did a great job at cutting up the shape, you know, with the
Okay.
rectangle.
Right. It's like well balanced too.
Yeah,
Tops and
all
bottom.
balanced, kind of.
Okay.
So
this one is
out and about. Newport, all right.
underscore
Yeah.
Newport. All right. Okay. Great.
Uh,
So M Diggity does such a good job of making sure to hashtag all of her amazing photos.
Oh my
This is
God!
another
So
one of hers.
talk about freezing a moment. This is something that only photography does, right? You don't see any painters doing that. A painter might have done the last one quite well, but they're not doing this one. So the spirit and the exuberance, the timing, I think that's just great. And it's also, you know, could have been a gnarly winter day, and
It just
there's
brings
almost
happiness
like
when
it
you
just
see
brings
it.
happiness.
You're just
Like,
happy.
how do you, that's just great. So.
Oh, here's another one of the Christmas tree shots.
This is actually a really good one in another way.
sure.
They might have like a filter or something on there. You know what we call a filter these days. It looks like it's blurry on the edges,
Okay.
but that's probably a choice they made, and
Yeah.
it's working really well.
Oh, yeah,
it
'cause
adds a
the
little,
center is
yeah, it
super
adds a
good.
little nostalgia and makes the thing
Okay.
a little more magical. So while that might have been like a thing that you did after the fact,
Right.
it's pretty well chosen,
Yeah.
and
That's
it really.
the clarity journey. She's really good. She won last month. I think.
Oh, fun!
Last month.
Yeah, she clearly got some skills.
Okay.
This is a serious photograph. This is really well done.
This is Lee Abney, and he's an amazing photographer in town too, as well.
So that, so you know, you listen to the stuff that I was saying, and then you go, okay, this has got to have all of it. It doesn't really necessarily have that sense of time. It's got almost like the timelessness,
Right.
right? But he's cut up the frame. It's really serene. It's beautiful. I get that sense of like authorship that he like made this happen. This isn't like you're not just wandering around and this happens in front of you.
True.
You got to be out hunting for this.
He's a hunter.
And you know,
I think he's
yeah,
a
and you got to be, you know, putting that frame together.
Yeah.
So it's really well seen as sort of like a mood and.
Here's another one of his. All of his photos. Here, I'll show it. It's this one.
Yeah, right.
All of his photos add so much mood and feeling. They really bring you into the photo, I feel.
Yeah, that's that thing, you know, where I was calling it like a sense of authorship, but it's where you really know whose photo it is.
That's true.
And
You can
and you
spot
know
his photos.
they sort of like committed to a feeling, or
Okay.
they you got to remember it's like there's like a translation going on. It's not, you're not just taking a picture of like the real thing. You have the opportunity to capture just a bit of it so that the end result has some magic in it.
Okay.
Like,
And it does.
it's like poetry. Add the extra magic.
Yeah.
And so here he is, you know, catching that moment where there's like a, is it
Birds.
gulls or pigeons or something, and there's like a whole feeling there.
And he's pointing.
And yeah, and Rochambeau's pointing.
Yeah.
This is pretty neat.
You
'Cause
can find him on I_double Lee Abney.
yeah, you'll find him. And
Miss Riley.
This is, you know, I just love like the bright blues in these. And so she's got a lot of landscape stuff. I guess I want a good sense of color, good going out and finding like places to shoot. She should study with Lee Abney.
You know, I think she was just out and about taking photos around town.
Yeah.
And this is really about just people being out in Newport County and snapping themselves being here. So
really got an eye for that.
Yeah.
And I think when she exercises that muscle of sort of putting the poetry in kind of like translating the thing another level, she's gonna get really good.
Yeah.
And
this is her just out having fun. So
yeah, she's just goofing around taking
exactly.
pictures. Yeah.
It looks amazing.
And,
so for our final,
this is definitely my favorite.
Okay,
yeah,
guys, get ready, get prepared, because this is the winner, and we're gonna have to do a big O shout out to Rent_Sons, which is a local business in town, which we can tell you more about.
So talk about magic. This is just so fun.
Yeah, I love the stars, and they just hit that just right.
So yeah, I mean, you can. It looks really good, you know. If you were technical about it, you'd say it's like the blue and orange combination, but then they got that glowy time of day, the stars bring some magic to it. The vehicle is actually like, you know, not typical, so you already got a sense of adventure and kind of, you know, and it's almost like cute and cartoony a little bit, which isn't, you know, maybe it's a real tough guy vehicle, but it's looking kind of like, you know, miniaturized or something. And so the whole thing.
I feel like this just happened though. I think they were driving and they got out of the car and they just.
It was probably a magical night, but you know, everything's sort of working. So, and you know, you can tell they're into something.
Yeah.
And it really has magic in it, and that is just the coolest thing. So, I vote for this one.
Okay,
sure. So cool.
Local photographer Sandy Nesbitt votes Rent_Sons as the winner of the January photo contest. So everybody give them a big shout out and let them know that I will have their champagne and
right.
their champagne and gift certificate.
Right.
Yes, well thanks so much for joining me today. It was so much fun. It was such a pleasure. Great environment.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers, yeah. The wine glass is perfect. And the espresso.
Exactly. And we look forward to seeing you on Newport Living and Lifestyles. Have a great day, everybody.